everydaygamers.com.
Alright, so I'm back for part two. I left off with Sony's presentation of MAG. Thought that was really well done. After that, Jack Tretton came back out, and they started to mention the PSP. And he announced the PSP Hannah Montana bundle, which kind of got a laugh from the people there, and he made light of that system. But, then they had Kaz Hirai come out, and he announced the PSP Go. He said it was the best kept secret of E3, which was obviously plenty of pun intended with that, because everybody who was going to E3 already knew about the PSP Go. I have mixed feelings about it. $249, is it really worth the purchase? I don't know. I really don't know. And I still have, I've got two PSP Slims, and for me, I'd rather own the content that I purchase in the form of a hard copy rather than have everything downloaded. But it'll be interesting to see, and only time will tell. The way I do things, a lot of times I'll probably end up purchasing it. It is set to go on sale on October 1st, and they announced some other things like Media Go, which replaces the Media Manager, Sense Me, which is I'm trying to think of Apple's title for this, but basically it'll look at your playlist of your music and recommend certain things, and I guess put together a playlist for you. And they talked about all titles from here on out will be digitally distributed, as well as having a hard copy. And they also announced that the video delivery service will be available on the PSP, so that you can actually, order videos from there, purchase videos from there, rather than having to link it up to your PlayStation 3. So that's a nice feature. After that, they brought out Yamauchi, who is the creator behind Gran Turismo, from Polyphony, and they showed off Gran Turismo on the PSP. Now, they didn't really show much as far as gameplay footage. It looked like it was kind of pre-rendered images, but it's supposed to be running at 60 frames per second. There's going to be 800 cars, which is an incredible amount of vehicles for a handheld title, and 35 tracks, and I believe they said 60 variations of tracks. So that's good. And then they've got four players via ad hoc or ad hoc. I'd like to see online, but I don't think that that's really something that the PSP would be capable of. And knowing how picky Polyphony is with this racing franchise, I don't think they'd want to do anything that would jeopardize the quality of the game. That's also coming out October 1st with the launch of the PSP Go. After that, they brought out Hideo Kojima, who they announced a new PSP version of Metal Gear Solid. It's Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and it's set to take place 10 years after MGS3. He said this is the true sequel to MGS3, and mentioned that the main team of MGS4 is actually going to be working on this title. It's set to come out in 2010, so I have a lot of hope for that game, and hopefully it'll shape up to be a decent title. After that, Jack Tretton came out. He also made mention of Resident Evil coming to the PSP in 2010, a brand new Resident Evil entry, or a brand new entry into the Resident Evil series. We'll see how that comes out. No video footage was shown on that. They had a video after that just showing the PSP titles that are coming in 2009, and the video looked good overall. They had a lot of things on there. It looked like a new Jak and Daxter, or a new Daxter title coming out. So we'll see how that comes out. And then they announced that they're adding, I think, 250 plus PSN titles, or PSX titles, PlayStation 1 titles to PSN for download. And Final Fantasy VII is now available for download, which is something that a lot of people really wanted when they found out about the PS1 game downloads being available. After that, they moved on to home, and here's where I started to scratch my head. I don't know why they even brought up home in this at all. To me, it would have just been better just to pass over home, act like it doesn't even exist, because home has not produced anything incredibly groundbreaking in the gaming front. then they showed some games that are going to be on the PSN. They looked decent, and moved on from there to announce that there's going to be an exclusive Rockstar game coming out, produced by Rockstar North. The game is called Agent, and it is PS3 exclusive, as I mentioned. After that, they brought in the team from Ubisoft and showed off Assassin's Creed gameplay. The video looked impressive. We already knew this game's coming out, so it was just, I think, an attempt for Sony to bring out a third party and kind of show that, hey, we've got support for the PlayStation 3. And they announced the connectivity between this title and the PSP Assassin's Creed title, and how that'll unlock more weapons. Both of those games are set to release in the holiday of '09. And then we've seen a Final Fantasy 13 video. That's all good and well, but at this point I just don't really want to see much else until I get to actually play the game, a demo at least. And then they made a little bit of an announcement, and that was the Final Fantasy 14 coming exclusively to PlayStation 3. It's Final Fantasy 14 Online. Now, I don't know if this is going to be an MMO, a pay-to-play. Not a lot was announced about this, and I imagine it's quite a ways off. But for those of you who are fans of Final Fantasy 11, I guess this will be a good thing. To me, it's not a big deal unless it's a free-to-play online game. Then the big thing was their motion control device that they came out with, and it works in conjunction with the PSP-I. And in my opinion, this has as much potential as man, I can't even think of the name of Microsoft's of Natal. Okay. I think that this may actually work a little bit better. It all depends, because with this you actually have something tangible to work with. And after they showed some demonstration of it, there was a very impressive scene towards the end where it was a bow and arrow demonstration, and just the way they used it, it looked really, really good. So we'll see how that comes out. They announced some Disney costumes for Little Big Planet, so what? And then they brought out William Ho and another gentleman to introduce Mod Nation Racers. And the customization on this game looks incredible. It looks like it's going to be a PSN title. It looks like it's going to be coming out in 2010. It's being done by United Front, and it looks much better than the kart racer that Microsoft announced, at least in my opinion. Couple last things, they showed some extended gameplay footage of The Last Guardian, which is Team Ico's next game, and GT5, Gran Turismo 5, which the interesting thing with that is it's going to incorporate NASCAR racing into the game. Looks like there's some damage actually coming to the series finally, and interestingly enough, like I said, the NASCAR, I think the NASCAR edition will be a big thing, especially considering how much of a simulation type racing game this is. I think that the NASCAR racing will lend itself well to it, and depending on how they incorporate that and how much of the actual NASCAR franchise they use. And last and certainly not least, they showed God of War 3, which they announced to be coming out March 10th, and they showed the first true gameplay footage of God of War 3. It looked impressive, but really, what were you expecting? Overall, I would give Sony's press conference an A. It's hard to kind of determine a winner this year. Microsoft or Nintendo obviously comes in last. I think they did a poor job. Microsoft did a really good job as well. But I'm going to come back with a wrap-up video in a couple days, or probably tomorrow, and let you guys know what I think as far as overall. Thanks again for watching this. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or to send me a PM. And as always, rate, subscribe, and just leave comments. Thanks.